Hey guys, it's Ray Alvarez from Shoot with Ray, and in this video I'm going to be talking all about this photo shoot, how we created something a little different. I'm going to tell you about the creative process and how we got there. So there's a new photo studio in Orlando. It's also called the Content Studio by Carolina Montes photography. She's a great friend of ours, and she was really nice enough to let us borrow some time in the studio so we can get creative. She wanted us to try out the studio and give her some feedback. I had 2 clients lined up that day, and after the client work, I had some additional time that I can use for myself. And being that Kay Alvarez was there doing the makeup for the clients, you know, she came prepared for a photo shoot. So for the most part, the entire studio was mostly white. She had backdrops that we can choose from. She had makeshift V-flats that we can use. But knowing that I was gonna be using Evoto to edit these photos, I decided not to use any of the backdrops and just use the white wall that was there. She was also nice enough to provide us with a white floor drop, so that way that corner of the photo studio can be turned into just a little white box. I didn't come prepared with our typical beauty shoot material or gear, so we had to improvise and work with what we had. Kay came up with a few ideas that was definitely out of our norm, and we said, you know what, let's just get right to it. So we started playing around, and she started leaning on the wall, and it started looking okay, but something wasn't right. I had the Sony 24mm 1.4 on the camera already, but I felt I needed something else. So in comes the Sony 24mm 1.4 G Master lens. Guys, I don't use this lens except for weddings. I don't ever use this for portrait photography, although I should use it more. The look that Kay was going for called for the 24mm. It called for a wide lens, and this is the widest lens I have in my kit for now. She wanted to go with a wide, immersive perspective, almost like a fisheye lens, but without all of the distortion. It keeps the frame dynamic, especially when you're shooting close up, but maintains a straight line with a natural feel. So now let me explain a little bit about the Evoto part. The intention wasn't to use Evoto this day. I did use Evoto tethered with my previous client before I ended up working with Kay. You can watch that video up here. But being that the studio was already set up with a tethered setup, I decided to just go on with it. Plus, Kay already had this idea in her head. She wanted this black and white kind of grungy background. Mind you, we didn't have that kind of backdrop or painted backdrop with us, so we had to improvise. We used the white backdrop, and then after that, in Evoto, we did a background swap. I selected the one that's black and white and has like that grungy feel on it. And then I lowered the opacity to about 25%. So it's not really there, it's about transparent, and it creates the exact grungy look that she was going for. So the first thing we did was basically set up the frame. We started off with a plain Jane look just like this. Once I fine-tuned the settings on the camera, we were ready to go. I plugged into Evoto, and every single photo that came into Evoto was instantly edited with the settings that we wanted, just like this. So in a few of these photos, you'll see that I removed the grungy look because it was Kay's favorite, not mine. But you'll get to see a mix of the white background and the grungy background as I show you the images. So being that this was a different kind of photo shoot for us, we just started playing around. She started posing and moving around, and we were just creating some really cool poses. Real quick, let me know how many nip slips you count in this video. Drop them in the comments below. You're probably wondering, what did I use to light this exact photo shoot? Let's start off with the light source. The light source was a 200-watt strobe, and the modifier was a 42-inch by Magmod. So you might be wondering, why did I go with the 200-watt strobe? I have a variety of lights that I can use, starting from 200 to 400 to 600 and even 1200. Being that this was an indoor photo shoot inside of a studio with white walls and white surrounding us all over, I didn't need that much high power. Kay wasn't moving so fast, so I didn't need the light to compensate for that. Being that we can take our time with this photo shoot, I figured that the 200 was just enough power because I didn't need to recycle fast enough since I wasn't just clicking that shutter really fast. So the recycle time is not needed. You don't need a ton of power. You can shoot it at low power. Then the 200 watt, in my opinion, was the best source of light that I can use for this specific photo shoot. Guys, the 24mm is underrated. I really think that maybe after watching this video, you should go out there. If you own the 24 or even the 24 to 70, go out and use it. Just use that wide capacity and just, I don't know, get creative with it. I would love to see what you guys create. Let me know what lens is your favorite to use down in the comments. I would love to know. The 24 is not my favorite, but definitely after this photo shoot, it is becoming one of my favorites once again. So once we wrapped up all of these photos, which looked fantastic in my opinion, especially being outside of our norm, Kate wanted to get just a little bit more creative. And it turns out that Carolina also did have some gobos and a projector there in the studio that we ended up using. She wanted to go for like that window effect, not necessarily the windows, but you know, kind of like the little circles or whatever. So we rewinded the photo shoot. We tried to do it again, just with the projection this time, make things a little bit more dramatic, high key, and we got to work. So in this case, we're not using flash, we're not using off-camera flash, we're using continuous lighting. The continuous lighting unit that Carolina had was attached to a projector unit, which in turn created that projection that you see on Kay and on the wall. And these are the results. Guys, I had a lot of fun using this 24mm. I hope you enjoyed those images. Let me know if you have any questions about this photo shoot in the comments below. Follow me, follow Kay, and follow the Content House Studios in Orlando, Florida. If you decide to book the studio, let Carolina know that I sent you. So if you enjoyed this one, again, drop it down in the comments. Let me know what you think of this video. Let me know what you think of the photos, and I'll see you in the next one. Thanks for watching.